on my channel today. I'm out for my morning ride, and I purposely came to a very nice neighborhood not so far from my home, and it would kind of loosely be considered in the Ford Nation area. It is in the west end of Toronto, more specifically Etobicoke, and it's a street called North Drive. And I've been on it many times before. People from the west end and a lot of people from Toronto know about this street. It's one of the most affluent streets in Toronto. Outside of the Bridle Path, Post Road, Rosedale, Forest Hill, Bobby Point, this is right up there, if not even more affluent than some of those areas. But I'm just going to take a ride down here. I'm going to show you some of the houses, which I've done before in my videos, but today I'm just going to add a little backstory. Well, not so much a backstory, but a little insight, a little foreshadowing to potentially what is going to happen to this street and a lot of streets like it in Toronto and Etobicoke and the GTA, and what's going to happen to Canada. So you can see the houses are quite nice. The street is beautiful. Got mature trees with the canopy over the street. People take this as a shortcut, and why not? It's very nice to come and see what's going on down here. You get a lot of contractors on this street doing yard work. A lot of these people don't do their own landscaping for two reasons. It's very big, and they have the money to afford to get professional landscapers to take care of the leaves, the lawn cutting, and you get it. Now, there was one house back there for sale. One of these houses, or two of these houses up here, had for sale signs on them last time I was up here. So at least three houses, but I specifically came to point this house out. Again, I've touched on it before, but here's one here for sale. I think this house here is to my left. I believe it is listed for 16 million. Now, this house across the street is being built. Now, I was talking to a gentleman about 3 or 4 weeks ago. He was out walking his special needs child, and a very nice guy, and his daughter was a very nice young lady. And we started talking. We got to talking about this house here in particular, this one. Now, he told me this house is 22,000 square feet. That's not 2,200, that's 22,000 square feet. The entire driveway has heating underneath it, so you don't have to worry about the snow. It will melt the snow. So I said to this gentleman, I said, what would you estimate that house to be worth? And I said, would it be worth 20 million? 20 million. He said probably closer to 30 million, if not over 30 million. Okay, so there's a $30 million house right there. I'd have to believe that. 22,000 square foot, and you can tell by looking at this place from the outside, nothing but the finest materials have been used on the outside. I believe it's a slate roof, and the house, I would estimate the house to be, it's over 100 feet long, just the house, and it's a ravine lot. It goes down to a creek behind the house. So, and up here is a private road that connects I think 4 or 5 more houses. So you get the gist of it. It's a very, very affluent neighborhood. So why am I pointing this out? Okay, the budget yesterday, the Liberal federal budget passed the final reading, so which means it passed. The budget's good to go. It's I believe it's around 70 billion, 80 billion dollar deficit. The final vote was 170 nays and 168 noes. Now, 2 conservatives and 2 NDP voted abstention, so which means they didn't vote. So essentially, because it's so close, the vote was so close, if you don't vote, it's like you're voting for the budget. It's just it's more of a coward's way out, to be honest with you. So now there is a lot of people in this country, based on what I've read on social media last night and this morning, that are extremely upset Like, I mean really upset with regards to this. Now, I can't profess to know the budget in great detail, in depth, but with the way the Liberal government has been going for the last 11 years, they are pretty much spending like drunken sailors. I will point out Elizabeth May, the Green Party leader, was one that voted in favor of the budget. So she's a World Economic Forum. I was going to say has been, but she's still doing the dirty work of the World Economic Forum. If you see this lady, she's nauseating to look at, and she's even more nauseating to listen to. Apparently, people say she has a drinking problem. I had a drinking problem. Technically, I'm still an alcoholic. I would say currently she still is an alcoholic, and I know that sounds like a tile cutter. Wet saw's going. So I know the adverse effects that firsthand that alcohol can play and contribute to on your mindset. So having a lot of experience with regards to alcohol and alcohol abuse, I would say that yes, she is indeed suffering from some sort of alcoholic trauma to her mindset. But okay, so I got that out of the way. I'm just painting the picture of her, that she is she's been had a long time ago, and all her mental faculties aren't there. So getting back to this neighborhood, what's going to happen in Canada, and what is happening in Canada, is going to be very, very similar to what happened in Venezuela, what, about 15 years ago, 20 years ago, where a full socialist tyrannical government was rolled out, and I believe it was Hugo Chavez was the president, and now it's Maduro's. I remember watching, I don't know, 6 years ago, there was a YouTuber that I watched, and his channel's Indigo Traveler. And this guy travels the world. I don't know what country he's from. I think he's from the Netherlands, Germany. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't watched him in quite a while. But when I watched this one episode, he was in Caracas, Venezuela. Now, Caracas, Venezuela was apparently the jewel of South America. It was a very modern, very clean city. So he was there after the collapse of Venezuela to socialism. And the poverty that he depicted in this episode, I'm gonna get out of here because it's busy with the traffic. The poverty and the disparity that he depicted in this episode of his YouTube channel was very very awakening and very, very sad. The dollar, the Venezuelan dollar, had collapsed. You know, you'd have to take a stack of money to buy a roll of toilet paper. And when I mean a stack of money, I mean this thick. It was almost more convenient to use the money as for toilet paper as to buy toilet paper. I remember he went to a hot dog stand, and one hot dog cost a stack of money like this. So what's that got to do with that affluent street that I just came off of? Well, what that has to do with that street is they also went by a place, or a neighborhood in Caracas. I don't know if he called it Millionaire's Row or Billionaire's Row, but there were mansions, like huge mansions, not so dissimilar to that 22,000 square foot mansion that I just pointed out there. And they were abandoned, gone. And they all had gated properties. I imagine at one time they all had paid security, state-of-the-art security systems, Belgian Malinois, German Shepherds, Cane Corsos, Rottweilers, Dobermans. You get the picture. Panic rooms, firearms. They had the whole 9 yards to protect their property and their loved ones and their assets that was contained in these mansions. But they were all abandoned. So the rich people fled Venezuela, Caracas, Venezuela in this case. He went up into the mountains. This guy, he had a kind of like a security guy with him. He was a streetwise rounder, and that's what you have to do if you want to go into you know, a rough area in Central and South America or anywhere in Europe. It's better to go with someone that has street knowledge, that is known to the streets, that has a little or quite a bit of street savvy, and can take care of himself. So a lot of these YouTubers, they pay people to accompany them into hostile areas where they could potentially get robbed, beaten, or murdered. So he traveled, he was there for, I don't know, 3-4 days, and the guy told him how to carry his camera gear. You got to wear your backpack on the front so no one can grab it from behind, and I believe this guy that he was traveling with had one of these with him, so that's always a bonus. Now in Canada, that's totally prohibited, forbidden to do. No one legally, unless you have very extenuating circumstances, can conceal carry one of these in Canada. I heard you could get some sort of permission to do it as a civilian, but I haven't heard about that in about 20 years. I heard back in, I think it was the early 90s, I think 17 people, I don't know if it was Ontario or Canada, had permission, civilians had permission to carry a concealed one of these. So, but in an SHTF situation, all bets are off. Now, the only people in my province, my city, and my country that carry these are, they're carrying them illegally. And like I said before, and everyone knows this, they're sourced through the US or wherever, but mostly the US. And criminals, you know, they don't care about getting their gun licenses. They don't care about that. They are wound up in a world that having one of these is street clout, and it's also to protect yourself, because that's the circles that they travel in. It's the culture, and it's the way they live. It's not my culture. It's not most Canadians' culture, especially outside of the cities. The cities have, you know, over the past 5-6 decades, but more specifically the past decade, have seen unsustainable influx of immigration. Now, you can say it immigration, you can say it foreign students, international students, you can say it asylum seekers. What it is, it's planned chaos. It ties into the Cloward-Piven strategy, where you bring in people from all over the world to overwhelm the system, to get everyone on social assistance. In Ontario, it's called Ontario Works, and you overwhelm the system with welfare recipients. Now in Ontario, if you do a quick Google search, it comes back 420,000 people are on Ontario Works welfare in Ontario. The population of Ontario, if you do a quick Google search, is around 16 million, 16.5. Now these numbers, I would imagine, are light. I would imagine, in my estimation, that the people are on social assistance welfare Ontario Works in Ontario, I would say, be pushing 1 million people. And I would say we're probably closer to 20 million people in population in Ontario. Now that makes up the majority of our population in Canada. We are the Golden Horseshoe in the Hamilton area, and the Greater Toronto area makes up the majority of the population in Canada. Now that's a pretty big percentage. So you keep on bringing people into the country, and our current infrastructures couldn't handle influx. So now you keep on stacking all these people on top of one another, and you keep on paying them, because they, you know, a lot of these countries where these people are coming from, they have no skill sets. For, you know, I don't mean to be disrespectful here, but a lot of these people don't even have housing where they come from. They're living in you know, structures that they fabricated from things they found on the beach, from things they found in the desert. They make I'm not saying they're very resourceful people, I'll give them that. If it comes to an SHTF situation, they are going to have an advantage, because they can turn you know, everyday garbage into a house. So I give them credit there. But in an industrialized, technologically advanced country like Canada, those skill sets aren't really of any use. And the way our financial situation is going in Canada, exasperated by the recent Liberal budget. You know, you got people, the exodus of skilled labor and medically trained people, and people that have businesses and have houses like that 22,000 square foot houses, and however this person can afford to have this house, they are leaving the country. I just watched the video where doctors are leaving Toronto to go to Texas. And someone did the math on how much a doctor gets paid. They get paid $430,000 here, surgeons. and they go down there to Texas, they get paid $320,000 US. And then you look at the average cost of a house in around the Houston area, outside of Houston, it was $400,000 USD, where in the Toronto area, an average price of a house is around $1 million. And the cost of groceries, the cost of auto insurance, the cost of everything is a lot higher than where these trained people are moving to. A lot of people are actively searching for jobs in the U.S., especially ones that will give them sponsorship for permanent residence or a green card. So there is a drain of skilled people leaving this country, this province, this city, and going to other countries. And you know, I am not a person of any wealth. I'm not a person of any sort of high skill. I can do a lot of things. I can build. I can survive. I have average intelligence. But my goal at 56 years old is to get out of this country as well. I don't think there's a future in this country. I talk to friends and other people throughout my travels, and you know, a lot of them echo the same things. But then, or the same sentiment. Then you have people that have houses, 22,000 square foot houses on North Drive. What do these people do for a living? You know, it makes you wonder, like, why would you put that kind of money into a house in Toronto? Like, you know, is the guy an athlete? I don't know. Like, you know, even like, you know, Guerrero Jr. or, you know, Austin Matthews, you know, could they afford a $30 million house? I guess they could, but I don't know. I don't know if it's an athlete. I don't know who is building that house. I don't know. But it's obviously someone that is, I would have to say, a billionaire, not a millionaire, a billionaire. You know, multi-millionaires don't build $30 million houses. So I would say he's in the billions, and that's not his only house. It's not his only property. Now, getting back to property, a lot of cottages in cottage country in Ontario, people are walking away. They can't afford to keep them. The cottage market is bursting. The condo, like I said before, the condo market's bursting. The price of real estate is plummeting. Like this guy, or this woman, whoever owns this house, this 22,000 square foot house, you know, when they first started building it, it was worth a lot more than it is now. I can tell you that. So, you know, if this guy, just say for, you know, mathematical comparison, just say this house is $30 million. And this person wants to sell that house, if he can find a buyer for it, when it's completed. You know, he might have 30 million into it, he or she might have 30 million into it, but can only get 18 million for it. So they're gonna take a $12 million hit. That's the type of situation that that Canada's in. So all these people that are commenting on social media and all, from a positivity standpoint for the Liberals, you know, I know a lot of them are bots, I get it, but it's unbelievable the mindset of these people. If they think this is just going to continue, the people that live up on North Drive, they're going to be at a distinct advantage when someone like me comes and knocks on their door after shit hits the fan. And I'm not saying I'm that type of guy to go do that, but you have to stay away after you know, if there's mass civil unrest, if there is an SHTF situation for whatever reason, financial collapse, an EMT, a solar flare, a civil war, martial law. You know, if you think you're going to go to a grocery store, you think for food, you think you're going to go to a hospital for medical attention, you think you're going to go to a police station or an armory in Toronto or an army base for help. No, that's the places to avoid. You're pretty much on your own at that time, unless you can click up with like-minded people. And so you have to be, you have to have the mindset that this life can change at any given moment. And obviously my mindset is to try to prepare the best I can for that day happening. And it's not if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen in my mindset. So these people that can afford these houses, these people that can afford $16,000, $20,000 baseball seats behind home plate at the Blue Jays World Series game, 16 to 20, 25,000. You sit beside Geddy Lee from Rush behind home plate because you can afford to spend that kind of money on one ticket for a baseball game. That's excellent. But what are you going to do one day when you wake up and your bank card's not working, your credit card's not working? Sure, you have some precious metals and you have some things you can barter with in your house. Sure, that's good. You have other things that maybe you can barter with, something like this. It's a very risky endeavor to get into those barter situations. So a lot of people are not going to be prepared for that. And the way society is today, it's not like when you know, my parents grew up through World War II. They weren't in World War II, but they certainly grew up through it, and other conflicts, the Korean War, in the United States especially, the Vietnam War, the Korean War, you know, Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran, or not Iran so much, sorry, but they get it. Those people had to go through hardships. Today's people, they pick up their Apple phone or their Android phone, and they order DoorDash, Uber Eats. They order Uber, and they go to Starbucks, and they don't even know what cash looks like. They don't even know how to count money. So they're going to be at a distinct disadvantage. The 15,000 homeless people in Toronto in any given night. That's 15,000 homeless people in Toronto any given night. They have an advantage, believe it or not. They're already rock bottom. They know how to navigate the streets. I'm not saying some are more successful than others, and they will have an advantage over even a person like myself. I try to put myself out of my comfort zone as much as I can, and that's quite regularly, to be honest with you. So, you know, I'm a little more prepared, or a lot more, I should say, a lot more prepared than most people. And you know, people look at what I do in my way of life sometimes, and they think, oh, you know, Dewey's crazy. And I've said that before in my videos. And you know what? Yeah, I don't even care about that. I'm at the point in my life now where I'm not trying to convince people to think like me. I know that soon, and I'm by myself. I don't really have a network of people that are like-minded like me. I really don't. You know, a lot of people think, well, this guy is, you know, he's a white nationalist, he's a white supremacist, he's part of some sort of hate group. Well, I'm not. I'm by myself. And you know, the lone wolf type mentality in an SHTF situation doesn't always work out the best. So I know eventually I will have to click up with a group, and I don't want to click up with a group that has strong racist views, that's for sure. I don't want to get mixed up in that kind of group, and I'm being honest with that. I want to team up with people that bring a skill set that can survive in the bush, that has medical experience, that has combat tactical experience. That's what I envision myself hooking up with. Now, will they want someone like me? No, that'll be determined. I don't know. And if not, I got to go it alone. I'm talking like people. Obviously, I'm talking something that, you know, of a serious nature coming down the pike. You know, you have a flag raising yesterday of the Palestinian flag at City Hall. Mayor Chow was there, and they raised a giant Palestinian flag above City Hall. You know, what's the purpose of that? Okay, that country is not Canada. That country, if you do a quick Google search, it says, well, the census is from 2016, so they haven't, since the Liberals have been in power, they haven't updated the Palestinian population in Toronto. They say it's a little over 4,000, with 15,000 in Ontario. So that number is going to be much higher, obviously. I would say that's going to be, if there's 15,000 Palestinians in Ontario in 2016, I would say there's 50,000. But even still, why are they raising, and this is a rhetorical question, why are they raising the Palestinian flag at City Hall? I know why. It's because they want an Islamo-communist government, well, shouldn't say government, tyrannical dictatorship in this country. And they're using Islamic extremists, and they're using people that have perceived the genocide in the Gaza as foot soldiers on Canadian soil, and they are being led by Antifa, and I've touched on that before. Antifa is an extension of the Liberal government, so which means their intelligence is very good. It's first-hand intelligence. They're getting directive from the political ruling party in Canada, right from the Prime Minister's office. And in this budget, there's going to be a lot of you know, gray area, backdoor, small print, clandestine ways to financially funnel money to Antifa. So they are building their army, people. They are building their army as we speak. I know that might sound crazy to a lot of people, but to a lot of people that you know me, the few people that are subscribed to my channel, some people watch my videos, they know what's going down. And a lot of people that don't know what's going down, they're going to be forced to know what's going down sooner than later. So the United States with Trump is not doing what I expected him to do. He's having internal fights with some of his longtime supporters, Marjorie Taylor Greene being one of them, and he's publicly attacking her, calling her a traitor even. So there is some sort of serious infighting in the Republican Party down there. And you know, if Trump doesn't hold all the people accountable for the January 6th insurrection and all the people that wanted him in jail, tried to financially bankrupt him, tried to slander his name, if he doesn't go around and round those people up by the midterms in, I believe it's November 2026, we're finished. We're finished, because this is his last term. So once he's done, you know, everyone associates Trump with the MAGA movement, but the MAGA, or Maple MAGA, I get a kick out of that. The MAGA movement is not just Donald Trump, and it's actually, a lot of people are going away from the Donald Trump association with MAGA. A lot of people aren't, obviously. Don't get me wrong, I'm not totally against Trump, but there's going to have to be someone that takes the torch, and if no one takes the torch from Trump, we're done. It's going to be an Islamic, communist, tyrannical dictatorship. It's going to be a lot harder to do that in the United States because of all the people down there with these and the training that they have. They have a large contingent of the population that is retired military, special forces, you know, CIA contractors. They have a lot of scary people down there that know how to do stuff. Up here in Canada, not so much. There are. You got the Joint Task Force 2 special operators up here, retired JTF 2s. I get it, okay? I get it. I'm not military, but I understand. Trust me, I have a very good understanding of what the potential of those people are, and I give them a lot of respect. I give them a lot of leeway. So, but anyhow, if you want to keep watching the video, I'm going to go up the trail here a little bit. I have my Solo Stove Titan bushcraft stove. I very rarely use it. I don't think I have it on video too many times, maybe once. And I'm going to heat up a meal that I made at home, and I vacuum packed, of rice and chicken. If you want to watch me do that up the trail here, stay tuned to keep watching. And if not, you just wanted to force your way through listening to my political opinions today, I appreciate that, and thanks for watching. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, put them in the comment section. Thanks for watching. So this is my setup today. This is going to be where I do my little my wood stove cookout, and my bike is set up pretty much as usual, except with the exception, I have my Maxpedition side gear slinger stick kitted out. So if I have to leave the bike under an SHTF situation, if I have to leave the bike, that kit there will sustain me. Well, it's got food in it for one day, but it's got all my emergency bivvy. It has a tarp and everything. I've gone over that just recently in another one of my videos. So that bag there is on the bike today, and that gray roll is my wet weather suit. And in here, I just have some other survival gear in here as well. Got some water. This is just tap water because I'm going to use this in my cooking process today. And one more thing, I just found this feather. Can someone identify that feather? To me, it looks like a hawk, a red-tailed hawk feather. Now, I don't even know if I'm allowed to keep that feather, so I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it, and I'm not going to Google it. Maybe I will Google it, but anyhow, yeah, I think that's a hawk feather. I think. I'm not too well versed in identifying feathers. So I got a monocular in here. I got some camera equipment, emergency bivvy, but I have all that in the side sling bag too. And up front, this is where I have my Solo Stove Titan. And I brought a little cedar wood with me to get it started, but obviously Obviously there's no shortage of wood around here. So here's my, it's like my my Mesa XL. It's a gasifier stove like Solo stoves are, but it's smaller. It's a camp version. And I just have a little cedar in here at what I believe to be a hawk feather. I think it is. I'll put over there. And actually, when I picked that feather up, I heard a hawk fly over me, and directly over me. I looked up, and yeah, it was a hawk. Maybe wanting his feather. He or she wanted his feather back. Okay, so I'll get this set up. As I was setting up here, I caught out of the corner of my eye a coyote walked 30 feet away from me over there. That's chicken, rice, broccoli. I'm just going to put it in some boiling water and heat it through. But yeah, the coyote walked right by me, and I didn't get it on camera, obviously, but unfortunately. So this is, they're both Solo Stove products. It's a Solo Stove stainless steel pot, and the stove nests inside of it. This is the Solo Stove Titan bushcraft stove. Had it for many years. I don't give it enough use. That's just a little titanium tripod and chain. I'm not going to set that up today, I don't think. So that's the actual stove. So it's just like the Mesa XL, but it's smaller for bushcraft. And put that and that. And today I brought my warming pouch with a hot pocket inside, because the other day when I was on my bike, I froze. My hands froze. I'm still lacking a little feeling in my my left index finger. So, you know, and I have this, and this thing is a lifesaver. That's the name brand there. Got it off Amazon. It's a really good one. It's nice. I don't know how much I paid for it. Not that expensive, but it's very nice. It's got a pocket in the back, and it comes with a belt too, so you can wear it on your hip. I couldn't find. I wanted to do that, but I couldn't find the belt, so I had to use the neck. But yeah, it's instantly, as soon as you put it in, it's very soft inside. So anyhow, I'm gonna get this fire going. Ferro rod, and this is hemp rope tinder. I don't need too much of this. Yeah, I'll use two strands. I have this is a duct tape, Gorilla Tape brand. And I'm not making any sort of feather stick, or I don't have any tinder other than this. So this should go pretty good. Watch. So that catches pretty quick, as you can see. Now with that that fire starting material, it's a Solo Stove brand. It's just a generic fire starter. It will burn for quite some time. So obviously that's a big piece of wood. But we'll just get this fire going here. Maybe I'll go grab some twigs, seeing that it is a twig stove. Now, for the record, this is not the best way to start a fire, but I knew this system here is pretty long lasting. It keeps a flame for quite a while. What I like about this spot, obviously, is I got the table and chair built right in. I don't even know why I brought that cedar with me. So, you know why? It was a remnant of what I had left over. See, nice flame coming off this now. The heat, like I said, I can't give enough kudos to the Solo Stove company. And I'm not sponsored by anyone, obviously, but my channel's too small for that. But Solo Stove is where it's at. I'm just waiting for that to burn down a little bit. I got to get, I'll show you what I have for food. So, rotisserie chicken and rice I made in my rice cooker at home. With broccoli, I put some soya and some hot sauce. So what I'll do that right now. Put that in there. Unfiltered tap water because I'm boiling it anyways. And I'll let that burn down a bit more so I can get the pot on top. And we'll have a little early breakfast. Or I should say early lunch, late breakfast. And this pot has seen lots and lots of action. It's hung over on my big tripod over campfires for countless hours. It's a great pot. Wonder if that coyote will pay me a visit on the way out. I doubt it. I can't believe it. I just caught it out of my peripheral, the coyote, and just behind me over here. And yeah, so I went over there with my camera. Yeah, gone. Like they probably know to stop, stay still, because then you won't be able to see them. Like I've said in my videos before, and people that know when they come across coyotes, they're masters of invisibility. Now, as long as I don't touch that, that should be good to go. Keeps it off the forest floor. And I knew I was coming to this spot today, and I was hoping that the wood would still be here the way it was, and sure enough, because these logs have been here for a long time. So I didn't have to bring a table with me. So I don't want to start, even in this, in mid-November, you can still start a fire and touch wood. I've never done that, and like obviously an accidental fire, and I don't plan on it today. Very good quality stove and pot for sure. Just gonna let whatever wood's in the stove, I'm gonna let burn out. And yeah, the pot is pretty much boiling, or almost boiling, so I don't want it to, it'll be good enough. Yeah, it might even be too much. I'm gonna have to take it off. We'll see. Yeah, I'll have to take it off. Put it down there for a minute. Now, what I could do, if I want to keep going with the fire, I could just add the cedar now, and I think I will do that. You get quite a bit of heat off this stove too. So I'm going to assume that the contents of my the bag is warm enough to eat. So I'm going to dump the water. In an SHTF situation, I wouldn't dump this water. I would save this water, let it cool down, then put it back into my my bottle that it came in. Then I'd filter it, or I'd boil it again, maybe even to drink it. But I would definitely save the water. Just going to pour it over here. Now that food's not hot enough. Well, that's going to be too bad for me, huh? So I'm going to cut this open. I'm not going to dump it in the pot. I'm going to eat it out of the bag because I don't want that pot to try to keep it so I don't have to worry about cleaning it. Doesn't that look yummy? Steam coming off it. So chicken's at the top, and it's Costco rotisserie chicken I bought yesterday, and I made the rice last night. It's really good. I'm hungry too. I didn't have breakfast this morning. Normally I wake up, I have a coffee and something light, but see the steam? It didn't take long either. Big piece of broccoli. So in theory, Humber River is not too far from here. I could have cooked this, or I could have heated this up in Humber River water. I didn't even need to use tap water. But I packed in because I have the bike. When you have the bike, it's like a horse, right? It's like an ATV. You can just bring a lot of extra stuff with you when you have the bike. Like even for, like in this cold temperature, you could keep 3 of these on the bike or in a pack because you got refrigeration. In the summertime, you'd have to eat this pretty quick. You definitely have to eat it that night. If you packed in during the day and you didn't have any refrigeration, obviously you'd have to eat this for dinner or a late lunch because you can't let it, you don't want to let it go to waste, and you need the calories. You can probably hear a leaf blower in the back. I'm in a little valley, well, big valley, and at the top of the crest of the hill to my left, it's a lot of condos. I wasn't sure I put enough into the pack. Like, you know, obviously, like I got a vacuum sealer at home, and I could put as much as I want in. But you also got to make sure that you put it, you know, not too much so you can get the water around the bag. You don't want to overload it. But you also want to pack as many calories as you can in a bag. I don't know how many calories this would be, but I'm going to say between 400 and 500. It's Uncle Ben's rice, garlic rice. It's not instant rice. You have to, I did the whole package. You have to put 3.5 cups of water in, and it gives you quite a bit of rice. I like the taste of it. Took it out of the pot. Very, very tasty. Like simple, inexpensive. Frozen broccoli. I always keep a couple bags, big bags of frozen broccoli in my freezer. It's convenient, doesn't go bad. Lots of rice around. And I was at Costco's yesterday, so I picked up a chicken. Just convenient, tastes good. But a little soy sauce and a little Caribbean hot sauce. It is tasty. And there's hardly any mess. And, you know, I'm surrounded by coyotes here, and they can smell this for sure, but they're not going to come near me unless they're sick or injured. But I don't want to leave any remnants of food here, so I will pack this little bag out. There is a little bit of rice, like 10 pieces of rice in the stainless steel pot. Very clean. So I'll pack that out, and I'm not even gonna dump those 10 rice. I won't even put those 10 rice in the woods. That'll go back on the bike, and I'll clean it up at home. No, you know, if I drop some rice here, well, I'm trying the best I can. Because in the wild, if you're out in bear country, or you have something that is more dangerous than a coyote, like a cougar, or a lynx, or a bobcat, wolverine. You know, if you're out west, grizzly bear, grizzly bear. All bets are off. But yeah, you don't want to leave any food around. I've never encountered a grizzly. I've never seen a grizzly bear in real life. Like in the zoo, I have, but not out in the wild. Plenty of black bears. And about 12, 15 grains of rice in there. So I'm going to put that in there. Then this stove will go back in there. And if it doesn't fit, actually I'll take this plastic out and I'll just put it somewhere on my bike. It's going with me. Just did dishes. I'll wash these later. I always say that. You never do. But I will this time. For some reason, when you think you're going camping, or you know, you're doing what I'm doing today, this is an urban camp, you think sanitation and food safety goes to the wayside, and it shouldn't. I'm pretty conscious with that though. So I have a background in cold chain logistics and third-party logistics, cold chain manufacturing facilities, bakeries, food manufacturing facilities, so I'm well versed in that. And one of these videos I'll talk about that. I'll talk about some interesting stories, some very interesting stories in an upcoming video, including a first-degree murder trial I was involved in. I'm not going to one of the owners of the company I was recruited to go work for, I was director of distribution for them, logistics, and one owner unalived the other owner, and I was a part of that case for a little while. And it's I'll go over it in another video. It's a made for TV movie. What you doing, buddy? Yeah, that was the same one that went by earlier. It's in pretty good shape. Well, they pretend like you're not here, but they're very aware that you're here, obviously. So I just finished my early lunch, late breakfast. Got my Solo Stove Titan and the pot packed back up. Have the leftover vacuum pack bag in my bike. I'll throw that out when I get home. And I'm just going to pack the bike up, head back out. I'm glad I got to see that coyote right at the end. Walk by me again. Like, they pretend like I said in the video, they pretend like you're not here, but they're very aware you're here. And yeah, so if you got any questions, comments, or concerns, put it in the comment section and I'll get back to you. Get out and enjoy the forest or the outdoors wherever you live in the world, if you can. Thanks for watching. Bye.